Hello and welcome to the Recursion Cafe, where we play games from the discard pile. In today's game of Unmatched, we have Fabio on the left and myself on the right. Fabio is playing Sinbad, an old school melee fighter who brings the porter with him. They are 2 move, and when they maneuver, they get +1 movement for each Voyage in their discard pile. So as they gain experience, they get faster and stronger in Sinbad's case. I am playing Daredevil, a solo melee fighter with 3 movement and 17 health. And whenever he has 2 or fewer cards in his hand, he can blind boost his attack or defense, which can be extraordinarily helpful and can be kind of backbreaking depending on how the situation goes. This video was recorded at the international event Cobble Frogs held in Paris. It was a tournament with 40 players. It was also my first competitive event, and it was lovely to see so many people gathering to play Unmatched from all corners of the world. Here we have Sinbad running in. The porter will take a swing. It's a by fortune and fate, and I will defend it with a son of a boxer. No damage was done here, and Sinbad gets to draw 2 cards, bringing him back up to maximum hand size. So I could take a swing at the porter, but he's really not my primary target, so I'll just double maneuver away, and we'll just try and keep cards in hand to start with. So Sinbad will double maneuver because he's still only moved 2 at this point, and will have to discard a card. So Fabio takes his time to consider this. Being a 3-move fighter against 2-move melee fighters on a small map is pretty advantageous, and so Fabio decides to discard Voyage home because he decides that this isn't going to last well in exhaustion, and he wants to be 3-move as soon as possible, so he discards that card. I will attack the porter with a Devil, just an early Devil to get some recursion going, and Fabio will fully defend it with an exploit to draw a card, again putting him up at 7 hand size. So we'll shuffle Son of a Boxer and Devil back in, and then we'll just simply maneuver away. Now that Sinbad is 3-move, he can keep up with me. And because there are 2 fighters to my 1, I have to end my turn in a space that has 3 other spaces, otherwise I will get pinned. So here's the first Voyage thrown at me, and I'll feint it away. I believe I mulliganed this game, and I mulliganed into 3 feints, so that was a pretty decent opening to start with. And we will simply double maneuver as Daredevil, meaning that Sinbad will have to... no, he won't have to boost me, he is 4-move now, so he doesn't anyway. He would just send in the porter because why not? He knows the porter is... We both know the porter is a meat shield, and yeah, it's just good value, right? So there's a momentous shift into a grappling hook. So 2 damage goes through first blood, I think, and Daredevil will get to move 2 spaces away, but again with 2 move 4 fighters, it's not really worth it. And I decide not to because I'll hit the porter anyway. And it's a man without fit. It looks like a devil, but it wasn't. And I drew out a feint from Fabio there, so I was pretty happy with that exchange. And then I'll maneuver away. And again, just parking myself in a space with an escape route, just in case I get pinned, because we all know that Sinbad has better card draw than Daredevil does, and not being able to move away is just a massive pain. So here is a Voyage to the Valley of the Giant Snakes into a Take a Knee. So I will get to heal, and Fabio will get to look at my hand. It's a pretty fair exchange, I think. And as far as Voyages go, that's not the most painful one to let through. So I'll heal with the Son of a Boxer. I go back up to 16 health, looks like. And we'll get to see my hand, which is a couple of breathers, a couple of feints, and a Devil. So yeah, open information there. He knows exactly what the options are, and he's now a move 5 fighter. So I'll attack, and what are the odds that it's a feint? It's probably going to be that Devil. Does he have a feint in hand? If he feints it, I don't mind greatly. It looks like he blocks it fully with an exploit, draws a card, and no harm, no foul. I'll get my recursion, and he will get his card draw. Everyone's happy. So we'll shuffle most of the cards in my discard pile into my deck, and I think there's just a feint left. So my deck is back up to something like 17 cards. And then we'll maneuver, and we'll boost with a breather just, again, to avoid that pin. We didn't really have an option there. We had to get round to a 3-space location there, so just to be safe. Ditching a breather at this point is not so bad. There's only a feint in the discard pile. So he will attack, I will check the cards in hand, and I will feint another Voyage. So it's the Voyage to the Cannibals of the Root of Madness, so it's only the maneuver one. The art is great. It's only maneuver one, so it's not so bad. Bearing in mind, Fabio's playing with a French deck, and I do not play Sinbad, and so I'm less familiar with his cards. So every time he plays a Voyage, I have to ask him what's going on. But it was very nice, and he explained it all. So here is a grappling hook into a toil in danger. It is fully defended, however, I believe I have 2 cards in hand, so I will blind boost this card. And we'll blind boost it with the Son of a Boxer to deal 2 damage into Sinbad. I believe that's the only damage I've put into him so far. Son of a Boxer, pretty solid card in this matchup. I didn't really want to see it go, but we had to try and put some damage in. I mean, I say that, and if I was a super competitive player, I probably would have just refused to do any damage and just danced around and baited feints out and recurred devils. But it's not really how I wanted to play, and so I just decided to go in. Here is a Voyage to the Island That Was a Whale and into a feint, so it cancels Sinbad's health recovery there, which I'm pretty happy about. So here we go. And from now on, so Sinbad is at 7 move, which basically means he can teleport to anywhere on the board. At this point, the map almost becomes irrelevant, apart from if I sit in a space with only 2 movement options. And we're just playing a card game at this point. So we're just maneuvering, attack, maneuvering, defend. Like that's more or less it. And every now and then a devil will come out. And I'm in a weird spot where now the Voyages hit very, very hard, and I'm deciding whether or not to keep 3 cards in hand or not, because it limits my options, but it also means I can blind boost to stave off big hits. Here's a By Fortune and Fate into a grappling hook. So again, if the Porter swings, it could be a momentous, it could be the commanding impact, but I'm not so kind of worried about that. It's the Sinbad hits that I care more about. So I'll maneuver, park myself in a space of 3 options for whatever is worth. The small map I picked because if we picked a big map, then Sinbad could run away more effectively. However, on this small map, it just means I can't run away. So I'll take a breather and I'll bring back a feint. That is maybe telegraphing that I don't have any defenses in my hand and I didn't want to draw. I just wanted to kind of take a no-risk play there and make sure I have a feint in hand. So he will attack and I have to think about it, but I don't really, because the feint is the only defense I have. So here's a commanding impact into a feint, quite rightly so, that's 3 damage in. I don't think I had a blind boost trigger there, because I had 3 cards in hand as well. So yes, that's correct, as we can see here. I also wasn't aware that commanding impact was a one-of in Sinbad's deck, which is quite odd in my opinion, but there we are. Here's a Devil of Hell's Kitchen into a leap away. Again, we'll blind boost because we want to do some damage and we want to hit something. So here's a blind boost with a take a knee. That's a bit painful because it's a good card, but we at least get it back in deck. Crucially, you'll notice the top card of my discard pile is a feint, and if I hadn't have blind boosted there, I could have recurred another feint. And this was something I realized as soon as I shuffled the cards back into my deck, but of course by then it was too late. So I'll maneuver, I get pinned, but I probably have a plan for this in hand. Those of you who know Daredevil will know what I'm talking about. But we're still going to get hit pretty big, and hey look, no defense. So there's a undefended momentous shift for 5. Bringing me down to single digits. That's pretty bad. But I guess the idea with Daredevil is he can take a hit like that every now and then. So we'll play through adversity and we consider doing, the value through adversity because it doesn't matter, he's going to catch up to me anyway. But I think I just make sure I am able to maneuver to a place with options in case I get pinned again and just try and run away. In hindsight, it wouldn't have made much difference. I should have just done the 1 damage to the Porter anyway. I don't think I was ever going to kill him, but, it's for the value. And we get hit again for an undefended leap away. So that's 9 free damage that Fabio's been able to put into me because I've had no defense. And that is just kind of what happens when you play low hand Daredevil. Eventually, that just kind of catches up with you, unfortunately. Luckily for me, there's been no undefended Voyages, but it's only a matter of time, I feel. And I think there are 2 Voyages left in Sinbad's deck, so, it's things I have to watch out for. So we'll boost, and we'll breather back. Is it a devil? No, it's a feint, because defenses are more important at this point, I think. And I believe I still have at least 1, if not 2 devils in the deck, so, I'm just going to see them at some point. The recursion hopefully will happen, but surviving is a bigger deal at this point. So Sinbad will swing in. We both now have a feint. I'll defend with it. And it's a turn danger. And of course, it's a good bait by Fabio that I kind of have to defend it. And feint is the only one. I have the opportunity to blind boost, but I do not because I don't want to just accidentally mill more important cards from my deck. And so it's a bit of a weird one now. I'll boost with a Man Without Fear. Again, I play around with it, but I just decided there is no difference because he has 7 moves, so I just park myself there. And yeah, I start to realize that I really should have gone 100% for the exhaustion game as opposed to kind of 70% for it. But here's a turn danger into a take a knee. We will recover some health with a grappling hook. So that's nice. I get some health back. There was no danger that was punched through. That does mean 2 versatile 3s are gone though. And my defenses will run out at some point if I don't recur them. And I think at this point Fabio knows that if I swing at him, it's probably going to be a devil, so he'll probably be able to feint it. So I've kind of put myself in a bit of a pickle here, and we'll have to see how I adapt to that. So we're through adversity, just to kind of clear some space. This I'm not sure why I did. I think I was convinced at this point that I needed to keep low hand size, but that 1 damage wasn't worth it, and yeah, I don't know, maybe I should have just maneuvered and boosted. So here is a by fortune of fate into a take a knee. I of course don't blind boost, but I'll heal, and I'll heal with another defense card. I'll heal 2, so that puts me up another 2 health. So I'm feeling alright, and Sinbad obviously will not kind of last into the long game if I draw it out long enough. So there's hope. So I'll double maneuver, get some more cards in hand. Fabio will move in with both fighters and will attack. I do not offend, and it's another momentous shift. So all of the take a knees that I healed back with earlier were, just padding for this really. So yeah, I think I'll just, take that avenue out and continue to maneuver. Fabio's deck is looking pretty thin though, so I'm thinking we're both getting more desperate either for a devil or a voyage to come through. There's a devil into a feint. I will of course blind boost because at this point I just got to swing for the fences, I think. I mill a take a knee, I deal 4 damage through. If it wasn't take a knee, that would have been, preferable, but you can't always choose. We'll maneuver away, Fabio will catch up and hit. Now this feels like it might be a voyage, and I wonder what I have to defend. It's the voyage to the city of the man-eating apes into a son of a boxer. It's a 7 value into a 3. I can blind boost to defend, but the effect of this voyage is that it deals 2 damage to the opposing fighter. So I'll blind boost it anyway, but it doesn't matter because I think the damage would have gone through, and I am bottomed out. Well, I do deal 2 damage to him on the way out. There it is, that's game. So really well played by Fabio, just kind of making that call early on to not play the long game and just go full in aggression. And of course Sinbad has the movement capability and the card draw to kind of keep that up, whereas Daredevil does not. And I probably should have committed to one of the 2 plans, either go aggressive or go for the long game. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you to all the organisers of Cobble Frogs. It was an amazing event, and we will see you next time. Take care.